Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Welcome to episode 18 of the Secrets of the Atlas League here on Ruthless SSF. So yeah, Power Siphon. It's amazing. I love this skill. I kind of hope I find a Fury Valve again in the future because it's kind of awesome. I might try Poison Concoction for the first time because I usually avoid it, but that probably won't be for a while. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you near the end. So I was very close to level 90, but I dropped a Wrath finally, and I turned around to get it, and I died. I didn't notice that the Delve node I switched into rolled the increased crit and crit multi, which is very unfortunate. I finally see a Wrath, and I die, and not only do I lose the Wrath, but I was at 90% XP, so I had to get that back. But it's fine, whatever, man. It hurts sometimes, you lose. It just is what it is. We are so close to hitting level 90, and the servers crapped out on me, and I thought I was going to die. But luckily, we survived. If I would have died to that stun lock in Delve and then died to a server crash, I probably would have taken a break, if I'm going to be honest with you. But we hit level 90. This character really does level very well, especially considering how bad my gear is. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. Losing that Wrath, it hurt pretty bad. But I went and, did some gambling because what else is going to make you feel better? Got some more, attribute changing jewels, which are good. It's probably the main reason I actually val jewels all the time. Obviously, there are a couple really chase awesome unique jewels I'd love to get, but just getting those attribute ones is so good. I got Southbound, which is fantastic. If you don't already know, Southbound is ridiculous on your mercenary. I'm probably not going to use it because I mostly use my mercenaries for an aura. I don't really like how busted they are. I might mess with them some more in the future, but generally speaking, I don't like them too much. Yeah, Alva is still insane. Granted, I pretty much have all those supports, but anytime you drop like 8 supports, I'm happy. Going for a double corrupt on added lightning. It didn't get +1, which is sad, but it didn't die, which is all I was hoping for. If the added lightning would have hit 21, it would have given me a huge chunk of damage. It's pretty funny that like the added lightning levels give me way more damage, and I mean like significantly more damage than Power Siphon itself. So now that we're level 90, I did switch back to some rarity gear and my Dark Ray Vectors. I'm now mapping with 82% rarity, which is pretty damn good. I'm probably just going to run a bunch of like tier 11, tier 12s and fully spec into Harvest and Essence and just farm that for a little while. Because honestly, I really want to reroll. The biggest problem, like, I'm pretty tempted to do it anyway. It's probably just going to be really bad. But the problem is not only do I not have, like, any of the auras for the characters I want to play, but I also just don't have any weapons or the uniques that I need. But honestly, I might just do it anyway. Because, like I've said it 1,000 times, but, like, whenever I play, or whenever I want to play a character, I like just getting it to maps. That way I can know what the character needs. But anyway, Myocon done. We are now at 108. We're almost done the Atlas. I'm running everything as rippy as I can now, and even though this map was pretty dangerous, I actually didn't die once, which is pretty awesome. It's kind of funny how, like, once you level up, it kind of becomes easier to not die. It's very strange. I don't know if that's always the case for everyone else, but it just feels like that to me a lot of the time. It's like, oh, I hit 90, all of a sudden I'm just not dying. I got some really nice attack speed gloves, as you just saw, and we got ourselves a nice little, another memory map, which is pretty sick. Doing some essence swapping. I have been incredibly unlucky with my essence. Yes, I have gotten a few high tiers without using any scarabs yet or anything like that, and it's been pretty awesome. But man, my swaps have not given me Wrath a single time. Not even like a shitty low-level Wrath, just not one at all. Doing some Shaper Fragment swapping here, really trying to hit, and of course we're trying again to swap some Essence to no luck. But you know what? Finally, Harvest paid off. Got my last Shaper Fragment, and of course, the servers crapped out on me, which is depressing. But that was my only death in the fight. This character did a very good job. When you just have like 60, or I think it's like 55 movement speed, it is pretty ridiculous because the only thing that really is dangerous in that fight in Ruthless, at least in my opinion, is his slam attack. If your movement speed isn't high enough, you physically can't get out of it. You physically can't. It doesn't matter if you run in the correct direction or if you get a good angle. Maybe there's some secret tech, I don't know, but if your movement speed is too low, you just die to the slam. I really wanted to reroll, and I'm not getting any of the auras that I need. So I figured, you know what, let's gamble, and if I hit a 5 link, I'll reroll. But as you saw there, the jewelers, it took like, I don't know, 100 and something. Which isn't like terrible odds, but it was pretty sad. using all my fusions here, which feels really sad. You know, it's so funny. Like everything will feel so nice. You'll like be farming for like 4 or 5 days and not like using jewelers or fusings at all, and you just see the number go up and it feels so good. But once you finally do that session and it fails, it hurts real bad. Luckily, though, we didn't completely fail. We did get a 5 link. Really happy about that. I thought I was going to go through all of that and not even get a 5 link, and that would have sucked. I forgot I actually had these 2 steel rings, so I decided to try and craft on them. I didn't really hit anything, like, good, but figured I'd try anyway. I used one of my, one of my fossil crafts here. The sad thing is that sword perfectly hit every single mod I want, but they were all terrible tiers. That sword was almost my perfect weapon for like 3 different builds. So really sad. I got teased a little bit, but it's fine. We keep going. I killed a pirate, which is pretty cool. I like killing pirates. He did not drop a unique, but you know what? We got a lot of money, so it's pretty cool. So it is Wednesday morning, and unfortunately for me, I have to go to lab jail for a while. I really need to like wait for some auras or a couple of random uniques that I want, but I just don't want to. I at least want to roll one of these characters because I've never played this skill before, and I kind of need to see like there's a potential. I don't know, there's a potential chance I have to farm a specific unique during a certain mechanic, but I'm kind of hoping I can get away with not doing it. I was really curious, and I don't really normally do this too often, but I kind of in depth looked at a bunch of characters on Bench League and how they play, and about like 20% of them had this unique on, and it's not a damage unique; it's a quality of life one. And I also noticed it was only 20%, so 80% didn't have it. So I'm hoping I can get away with not farming it because that will be a huge pain in the ass, especially if I spend a lot of time farming it and I don't get it. So first step, I'm going to farm lab. Hopefully this doesn't take 3 hours like Storm Rain did. Hopefully it's not that bad. And then immediately after this, I'm going to try the skill a little bit with one of my characters, probably my Juggernaut, just to see what it feels like in a map or whatever. And if it's playable without the unique, even though I don't have the auras I need, I'm probably just going to reroll. So Lab Jail took pity on me and dropped me a Purity of Elements, which is pretty cool. And I finally got it, the non-transfigured to transfigured. I immediately rerolled. So I started at like 7:30 and it ended at like 9:43, which still took a while, but it could have been worse. Anyway, though, I am playing for the first time Cyclone of Tumult, whatever the hell it's called, and we are playing as a champion. So I do have a pretty decent 5 link that you saw. That's the one that I crafted earlier. But I do not have Herald of Purity. I do not have Pride. This is one of the characters that I was talking about. I was looking for a few uniques for, but we never got them. And we never got any of the auras, but you know what? I just wanted to reroll. I almost rolled another spellcaster, but I was like, nah, I really need to play a melee character. I just kind of want to. But yeah, anyway, my weapon is fine. It's a 2-handed axe. It's got about 520 physical DPS, which is not good. It's not good at all. But you know what? It could be significantly worse. The campaign was quite the experience. I had a pretty bad time at first, but once I learned the skill some more, it got a lot better. Because I was definitely playing it very wrong. But let me tell you something. The damage is beautiful on this character. It feels so nice. Now, the thing is, my next, like, 20 points are basically all damage, so his character is just going to get stronger and stronger. And, of course, we do have a Perseverance, so I'm always going to have Onslaught. Just a quick reminder, though, in Ruthless, Onslaught does not give movement speed, which, yes, sucks, but at the same time, it's good. Otherwise, every single character would just have to find a way to get Onslaught. It would be game-breaking. Plus, just having 20 MS is ridiculous. In a world where there's no movement skills, 20 MS is ridiculous. Anyway, though, the campaign was amazing. I didn't really have any problems. I did die a few times, like I said, doing dumb things with the skill. But it took me about 4 hours and 43 minutes, which is not too bad. So my gear is kind of scuffed, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, my axe is okay. I got some decent jewelry on. But I just have, like, random armor, body armor, helmet, and boots on. I did notice, while looking at my gear, I have no good boots. They are all pretty horrible. They either have life or they have res, not both. Not even like okay res and okay life. It's just one or the other. Got an Alva Scarab, which is always pretty nice. I did forget I had this on-kill cosmetic, but I'm not going to use it anymore because it lags and it looks awesome. Like, look at that. It looks sick. But no, I can't map with this. But anyway, like I said, mapping so far is going really well. I even went into a tier 6 that was incredibly rippy. It was turbo and crit. I had to keep dodging stuff, but like I didn't die, killed the boss. But which, granted, it's a tier 6, but still, it felt good. So it's only now that I realized my 5 link requires level 87 to wear. So we're definitely going to be on a 4 link for quite a while. Also, Grats X9. But I just want to say, if you're wondering what this build really is like, if you've never played Cyclone before, essentially you're mapping. That was almost good. Your mapping is essentially like this. You fly through the map very, very quickly. You kill all the like trash mobs really fast. And then whenever you get to a tanky rare or the map boss, it takes you several minutes to kill the boss. Cyclone of Tumult is almost the complete opposite of that, except for your clear speed on trash is still pretty decent. It's pretty good, at least compared to like, a normal Cyclone character. But your single target damage is just so much better. Ridiculously better. Like, for example, I'm using a 500, I almost said 500k, a 500 DPS weapon, and this is the best weapon I have. And my, like, mediocre POB that I made for this character for level 87 has my DPS without vulnerability or blood rage at 850k, with a semi-equivalent character or build with pretty much the exact same gear using normal Cyclone is doing 250. If that gives you a rough idea. I will say, obviously, there are downsides to this character, but honestly, the downsides are kind of a positive, because when I was reading this skill, because I didn't have the skill to test it, I kind of was concerned that when you got the max stats, my movement speed would be basically 0, but it's just not. I'm, like, still pretty decently fast. I mean, obviously, look, if I get the max stacks, look at this, I'm pretty slow, but you're not meant to map like that. You're not meant to just hold this and just walk around. You're meant to walk, and then when you see a pack, I just went into a wall. When you see a pack, you charge up at them and kill them. And when you see a rare, you basically just stand on top of them until they die. Which is essentially what you normally do with Cyclone anyway, except now it just does way more damage. I am a little bummed out that my 5 link requires level 87, but I mean, at least it's going to motivate me to level quickly, I guess. After the server died, it spawned my scouting report, which is pretty cool, I guess. I don't really need scouting reports right now, but hey, whatever, we'll take them. I got my 3rd layup of the league, which is awesome. So I figured, you know what? I have 3 of them. Let's just val them. Nothing happened. Cool. And it died. Also cool. So I just got back from dinner, and I kind of gotta confess something. So basically there was like 3 or 4 characters I was between on what I was gonna reroll. I was definitely gonna reroll today. I just didn't know what. And pretty much the only reason I chose this character is Champion is the least played Ascendancy, at least in this moment in time. And if you know anything about me, that's like, I don't know, that's like pretty hardcore bait for me. Like just playing something I know that is good and that I enjoy playing. Excuse me. Something that's good and I enjoy playing, and knowing no one else is playing it, I don't know, it just makes me happy. I don't know why. So I'm hopefully going to make a good champion here. Hopefully it'll encourage some other people to play champion, because it's a really fun Ascendancy. Obviously it doesn't compare to anything as overpowered as like Gladiator or Berserker if you're playing like a meta skill like Volcanic Fissure or whatever, but it's really fun and I highly recommend trying it. Hey, made this far in the video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. So I switched back to my other gear. I got the Dark Ray Vectors on. I got this helmet, which, by the way, the rolls on this helmet aren't very good, but the implicits are amazing. Fizz taking his fire and damage per power charge. I have 5 power charges, so that's 20% damage, which is fantastic. Obviously, that's increased and not more. Once my gem hit level 20, it was such like a drastic difference in damage. It felt so nice. Also, if you're ever playing this character, yeah, use the rune graft of gemcraft. Well, that's annoying to say. This thing is ridiculous. I love the runes. I think it's so cool. There are so many times when I'm playing a character and I'm like, oh, I have like all these mastery options, but none of them are really interesting. Like, yeah, they might help, but they're not necessarily good. But anyway, I don't know how the hell we're getting this far with this character when I have a dog shit wand. Like, yeah, you could say it's okay because it has 2 damage rolls on it, but it doesn't have crit multi, and the damage rolls are pretty terrible, and it doesn't have spell damage on the wand, which for Power Siphon is a pretty big deal. But yeah, Power Siphon, it's great. Once my gem hit 20, it was awesome. Really sad it didn't hit 21. I'm probably going to go farm on the champion until like 75, maybe push for 80, and then I'm going to come back to this character to farm the enchantments on the helmet and the enchantments on my 5-link body armor. Now, I do have a Perseverance. I think I have 2 of them, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this one has 6%, that's right. This one has 8% increased life, which, granted, isn't a massive difference, but it really does matter. I probably shouldn't double corrupt it, but if I do get a temple, I'm probably going to do that. But yeah, this will feel nice on that character. It's going to make getting my res cap a little bit difficult, but I think I can work it out. I don't have, like, amazing jewelry, but I do have some good ones. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Anyway, though, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow.